A big new World of Warcraft update is coming out soon, Guardians of the Dream, and the devs are giving us a first look at it. So yeah, let's find out all about Guardians of the Dream. It's the headquarters of Blizzard.
Hello everyone, welcome to Wowcast. Today we're going to talk about our next major content update, Guardians of the Dream. And I have two special guests here with me today. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Taylor Sanders. I'm an encounter designer on the World of Warcraft team.
And I'm Ann Stickney. I'm a senior narrative designer on the World of Warcraft team.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. What is coming with Guardians of the Dream?
Yeah, so Guardians of the Dream is a huge content update. We have a new outdoor zone, the Emerald Dream itself.
Looks like Arden we have a bit, right?
We have a new raid. We have new public events within the outdoor zone itself. And then also Season 3 will be launching as well.
Ooh.
So we just finished up Fractures in Time.
To farm gear
again.
Can
you tell us what's next? What are we going to expect in this major content update?
Well, with Fractures in Time, we kind of wrapped up the story of the Bronze Dragon flight, and we also saw Iridikron take off for parts unknown. One person that we haven't seen since Zeralek Caverns is Farok. We get to catch up with him here. More importantly, what's going on is that Amirdrasil, that tree, the seed that Tyrande took from the Shadowlands, she's planted it, it's been growing in the Emerald Dream, and it's about to cross over. It's a very
Wait a second. So the seed we got from the Shadowlands that Firak really wants to get. That's why he's torturing this poor green dragon, right? And so it starts growing, but in the Emerald Dream. Why not plant it on Azeroth? Wait, can they even teleport like a full tree to Azeroth? Maybe that's how they're gonna do it. They grow it a little bit, and if it has reached like a healthy size, they're just gonna teleport it over with magic or something. But now finally we get to see what's going on, like what's going to happen with the seed here and the tree. Like, there are two things that we need a conclusion to. One is the freaking sword that's stuck in Silithus, right? Like the giant sword that Sargeras freaking pierced partially through Azeroth, right? It's still stuck there, so we need to know what's going on, what will happen with this sword, but also the seed here. I want to know, will we have a new world tree soon or what? Like, that's actually good. At least one of the two mysteries is being solved here, right? But yeah, we still have the sword stuck in Azeroth, and this needs also to get solved eventually. Maybe a whole expansion will do that, hopefully.
Planted it, it's been growing in the Emerald Dream, and it's about to cross over. It's a very powerful tree. We're not the only ones interested in it.
Of course not.
So,
can't be that easy.
Of course not. No, it can't be that. It's never that easy. So turns out Farok's kind of interested in this tree, and he's got some friends that he's
Spoiler
bringing along
alert.
with him.
We finally enter the portal into the Emerald Dream. What does it look like? What can we expect?
First off, we're
Looks
finally
nice.
going to the Emerald Dream, right? And we've seen like bits and pieces of it since like what?
Yeah, since, I don't know, back in, the classic days when the game was first
Breath of
Druids.
the Lich King.
With the Druids, and then I think
Legion
more
also,
recently,
Valshara.
the Emerald Nightmare raid back in Legion, right? But we've always visited these little pockets, and in Guardians of the Dream, we get to visit like an actual section of the dream.
That's the
Emerald Dream itself is a reflection of the wild world. So it's green, it's overgrown, it's...
Wow, there's even a giant statue, but here we can already pretty much see the raid entrance here. You guys notice it too? The raid entrance will be definitely here, where there's some volcano eruption or whatever that is, like all the magma here and stuff, right? So it's definitely gonna be here where the raid is. Like, this is so obvious on the map. If they put the raid entrance somewhere here or here, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna go really nuts. Be like, what the heck? Like, you guys put such a huge significant structure here on the map that you immediately have your eyes on, and it's not the raid entrance. There's no way. This will be the raid here. I'm sure about it. 100%.
Itself is a reflection of the wild world. So it's green, it's overgrown, it's beautiful, there's stuff blooming all over the place, but also we aren't the only ones interested in that tree. Farok is there, and he's got some allies with him. So the place is, while part of it is, overgrown, wild, beautiful, blooming, there's also parts of it where Farok's forces have hit this place. It's a war-torn landscape, right?
Wow.
It's not perfect,
So they have
it's
invaded.
not ideal, but we're there to fix it
Yeah.
and make sure that Farok doesn't get what he wants. If you are familiar with lore, We're going to the Eye of Ysera. And
Eye of
it's
Ysera?
a place that has been mentioned in lore for a very long time. We've never been there.
I think I
it's
remember.
the center of the Emerald Dream. Not literally, figuratively. So the Eye of Ysera focuses on the areas of the dream that are they need the most attention from the Green Dragonflight. And in Guardians of the Dream, it's a Mirdrasil. Obviously, you know, we want to help bring this tree from the Emerald Dream into Azeroth.
The outdoor area that we have, you know, releasing with our content update is just absolutely gorgeous. The art team has really outdone themselves yet again, and seeing the Emerald Dream and
it's
all of
beautiful.
its glory, right? As players get to explore finally, like an actual zone that represents sort of all of the incredible, like sort of artistic influence of the Emerald Dream, and we're going to see tons of great characters that we kind of know and love that are related to the Emerald Dream itself.
Scenarios
so in
will
this new
return.
zone, there's a new raid. Can you tell us more about the new raid?
Yeah, so one of the sort of war-torn places within the Emerald Dream is our new raid, Amir Drasil, the Dream's Hope. This is a 9-boss raid where players get to explore one of the most interesting places within the Emerald Dream. The story here starts at Wellspring Temple.
Look, it's a
which
big
is sort
building,
of a
so it's
place
probably
within
that
the Emerald
building.
Dream that's feeding Amir Drasil, this world tree, all of its kind of energy and life force. It's nurturing the tree. It's a very important place to Farak and his designs on the Emerald Dream and what he wants to sort of achieve here. One wing of the temple is untouched by Farak and his allies for now and represents sort of the wild nature of the Emerald Dream. There are defenders of the temple here who are natural to the dream, and one of those defenders is our wing boss for that section, Nimue, Weaver of the Cycle. So when players enter Nimue's chamber, it's this beautiful sanctum.
Yo, is she like partially attached to the ground here? It looks like that, right? But you know what I see a lot of here? I like also with the roots and this kind of thing. Like I do get like a lot of Ardenweird vibes from this. I feel like with Shadowlands they actually set the foundation for like future expansions, and they're going to use like a lot of the art. Like I can already see this here, right? Like all those art thingies, like I see like some features of like of course of BFA, right? And a bit of like Shadowlands from the art here already. That's nice.
Nimue's chamber, it's this beautiful sanctum that really represents
tree end or
sort of the
something?
Emerald Dream
Some kind
in
of,
its
right?
most pure form. On the floor of the chamber, Nimue is ordering the weave of the Emerald Dream itself, sort of represent the act of creating things with the Emerald Dream and defending it. And
like growing new
protecting it.
trees and stuff.
In the other wing of our raid, this is a wing that's been destroyed by Farak and his molten allies, right? Smolderon sits at the end of this wing.
Smolderon is back?
Himself, and fire has sort of poured through this portal where Farak has brought the Firelands sort of screaming, you know, into the temple itself. So we're going to see all the destruction that has wrought and be able to fight Smolderon right at the end of that wing. Another encounter we have within the raid is Tendril Sage Swift, who is one of the leaders of the Druid of the Flame.
Yeah, Druids of the Flame, basically the last time we saw them was in Cataclysm when we defeated Van.
Let me guess. And if after we defeat them, we get a quest line where some of them are joining back with the Night Elves. Or maybe there's like a faction of them that actually say we don't want to have part of this. And that's when you get the new skin for the Night Elves, right? Because it was mentioned before we getting the Druid of the Flame customization option for Night Elves, and I'm not sure if they've scrapped the idea or something, but I have not heard about it at all. We got so far, of course, the Heritage armor for the Forsaken, we got for the Night Elves the one, right? And tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, we are getting the Manari, like the reddish skin Draenei customization options, right? There will be Visions of Valen or something coming. So yeah, be prepared, tomorrow it's coming and we get like a new customization option. Maybe I will grind the Draenei. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but maybe. And Druids of the Flame, like that skin option was also mentioned, but I did not see it or they talk about it yet. It's like some people have forgotten about it or they've like maybe change it for a later date or something, the devs, I don't know. But if it comes with a later day, it could be around this, like maybe with Guardians of the Dream or one patch after it. But I think we're gonna eventually get this, and I would love to actually play a red-skinned Night Elf. Yo, they should also give Shaman to Night Elves. Aren't they kind of like the Druids of the Flame? A bit like Shamans also in a way. Wouldn't that give like the option to actually add Shaman to the Night Elven race? I think they would come with some really cool totems. Like maybe Druid of the Flame style totems or something. Wow, yo, this could really open the door for Night Elf Shamans. Nice.
Leaders of the Druid of the Flame.
Yeah, Druids of the Flame, basically the last time we saw them was in Cataclysm when we defeated Vandral Staghelm. But they've been planning this kind of resurgence, and with the burning of Teldrassil, they've been able to recruit a lot more willing people to go along with their plans.
The exciting thing about this encounter is that finally we'll get to Dragon Ride within a raid encounter in Dragonflight. So
wait, you have to already in a dungeon.
Cool opportunity
the
to
Nockwood offense,
be able to jump on Dragonback with all of your friends that you're raiding with.
But it's a dungeon, not a raid.
Tendril as he sort of like flies around Mirdrassil, right? You're like banking through fireballs and stuff during combat. So it's gonna be really exciting to see.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh no,
Yeah,
so many are going
really
to mess
cool
up.
To have 25 people all mount up.
Like that's a cool idea, but I feel like some people will get kicked or people will rage at them because they don't take one globe, they fall into the fire or something. I feel like here this is something because it's like fast paced, right? Where like a lot of people are going to mess up. Like let me give you guys one. Okay, I'm not sure if it's like super fast paced, but if like when I do like I was doing a lot of M+ runs these days, and one of the ones where people mess up the most, in my experience, was Halls of Infusion, and not because of combat mechanics, but because there's like this one part at the last boss where this wave is coming and one boss does this AoE thingy that pushes you off. And I've noticed that there were some really decent DPS players that were always like at least second highest DPS or something, and they sometimes got like bubbled because they got pushed off, or they died because they get hit by a wave 2 times in a row because they tried to focus on doing DPS or something. So I feel like when it comes to like reaction time, there are always some players that are a bit slower, and this seems to be super fast paced, so I feel like a lot of people are going to rage at those a bit slower players that try to think one step ahead and not react immediately, right?
It's going to be really exciting to see.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, visually it sounds really cool to have 25 people all mount up, but mechanically, we need people to test it out. We just need people to test it out.
Yeah, the PTR is so helpful for that.
And then of course, I mean, we can't forget Farok. Right?
Finally.
Yeah, the reason
spicy
Final
nasty
boss.
boy.
I'm ready to beat him up.
he's here in the Emerald Dream, and the raid will end with a showdown against, the Fire Incarnate himself.
Is there any like juicy rewards in the raid?
Yeah.
A new legendary?
So, much as in other raids during Dragonflight, players can expect some new armor sets that they can earn.
Wow,
right?
they look nice.
Sort of class themed, but also.
Wow. Let me guess, okay? I would just guess from the pic. Okay, clearly Death Knight. Like, got a freaking skull, we got those spikes. It looks pretty kind of undead to me, right? It looks actually not too horrible. Is that Shaman? Or is that Hunter? No, that's probably a Hunter, right? Because we got like a wolf here. That's definitely Demon Hunter. We're actually replacing our head with some Fell Flame and a Skull Mask. Okay.
Armor sets that they can earn, right?
Probably Hunter. Is that Warlock? No, that's Mage, I think. Is that Warrior? That looks like Plate. That's Warrior, I think. Okay, we got Mage here because you got the Wizard head, right? So we have Mage, we have Warrior, and that's probably like Paladin, I would say.
Sort of class themed, but also have a touch of the Emerald Dream to them, right?
They're beautiful.
The art is absolutely incredible for these new sets within the raid. So they can expect new sets to earn that'll each have, class bonuses on them.
Oh, there are more.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so this is the Warlock one. This gives me Shadowlands vibes. Like this looks like part of like this kind of yeah, that's like Jailer style here. What the heck? But it looks not too horrible, right? That's Monk, I would say, right? Because we got this sort of crane here or something. Like this is this sort of bird here, right? Yo, what's that one in the middle? That's Rogue, I think. That's Rogue, right?
I'm really excited to get my hands on them for my characters.
I love collecting the sets too.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting our hands on something,
Yes.
Farak's got something really tasty for us to get our hands
A mount?
We have a new legendary weapon coming
Oh,
in Guardians of the
no.
Dream. This is going to be a two-handed axe that players can earn. They'll
Must
have to
have
keep the
for
rear to the
Fury
ground
Warrior
exactly on
arms.
how to get their hands on it. But yeah, it's a really
I hate legendary weapons. I hate it when it was like meta for the hunter. I hate this about Evoker. That's why I don't play one. Because you need to freaking spam raids in order to have luck to get it. And getting into raids is so much harder and getting max item level legendary weapons than if you just freaking do higher keys. Like how I usually do PvE, that's just me and probably like most of the people. Like, I'm in a guild, and they sometimes say, oh, we have a plus 14 key, plus 12 key, and I just work myself up, and when I get like a comfortable higher item level, I try to go beyond, let's say, a plus 15 or something, so I can get like maximum item level rewards, right? But if I'm like required to get like a legendary weapon, that means I'm required to spend a lot of time. I have to stand around in a freaking city for 2-3 hours and find people that are good enough even to clear a freaking raid. And then I must do a raid, what takes usually way longer than doing a M plus higher key, for example. So I have to spend like hours and hours, and I maybe don't even get the weapon. And I have to repeat this. And I have to do this over and over again, find large groups, do it on at least heroic or something, so I get like a decent item level, right? And I have to like just try my luck over and over again. But when it comes like M plus and best in slot, right? Like sometimes you have two best in slot thingies, right? Like what are your primary stats? You want haste and mastery? You can have haste and mastery on a body piece or your weapon, and no matter which piece you have, you can just adjust, right? And sometimes you have very good gear, and you can like mix it up. Like sometimes you get, let's say, a ring that gives you haste and mastery, and then you want crit and mastery or crit versatility on something else or so, if you're like trying to min-max, right? And sometimes you can exchange an armor piece with a certain stat for the same like for a weapon with the same stats, and you just use a different piece that gives you those stats kind of to still get a decent amount of secondary stats. When your primary is, let's say, haste or mastery or something. But when it comes to like legendary weapons, they are always the best in slot for like the class it drops for. Here we have a two-hander, so you will need this also for higher keys on the warrior. If you don't have it, people not gonna invite you. And this is why I hate legendary weapons, actually. I don't like them. Because you need to get into a raid group and get it, and I think this is one of the reasons why there are not so many Devastation evokers these days, right? Like, yeah, there are sure like a lot of augmentations ones, but like Devastation, not only because like augmentation is the better one, but also because they need the weapon to... Wow, there's a huge spider walking here. But anyway, yeah, so legendary weapons, I don't like them because they're so important.
powerful weapon wielded by Farak himself. It's called Firlath the Dream Render.
It looks cool,
we've been
though.
listening to feedback from the Embers of Neltharion update.
Good, I play mostly Hunter,
we're,
Warlock, and Druid.
We hope
these
we can
days.
provide something that players really feel like they can earn the axe over time and feel really rewarded for their time in the raid.
So we've spoke about the amazing raid and the beautiful zone of the Emerald Dream. What other things can we expect in Guardians of the Dream?
So we've got something really unique coming to Guardians of the Dream. It's not just one public event, it's 3 of them. And they feed into each other in this kind of cyclical sort of wilderness nature kind of thing. There's 3 different events. First one is the Super Bloom, and that one is, if you've ever played Overwatch, it's like protecting the payload, right? Okay, so you've got this ancient who's going through and he's trying to, bloom the dream, and you
must
have to help
him
him out by defending him from things and helping him get things, that kind of stuff. When that's done, it triggers the second public event called the Emerald Frenzy, and it's a farming kind of public event where wilderness has kind of gotten out of control. So you go through, you're farming everything, and it's dropping currency, it's dropping seeds left and right. The more people that are in it, the more stuff you get, and it's just a grab. So that feeds into the Emerald Bounty. And with the Emerald Bounty, it's a fostering event, right? So all around the Emerald Dream, there's piles of dirt. You can take those seeds that you gathered and plant them in the dirt.
Wow.
Over the course of 5 minutes, it'll grow into a sprout. And the more people that show up and feed
Return
that
to a
sprout
full tree.
and nurture that sprout, the bigger it'll get. When it blooms after that 5 minutes, you get to loot it for cool stuff.
I love cool stuff. Can you tell us more about
Wow.
the new Renown faction?
Oh, let's do
Yeah,
it.
of course. We've got the Dream Wardens. I mean, we're going into the Emerald Dream, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the Emerald Dream is full of creatures that live there. And they also have a vested interest in protecting Amir Drasil. So they've decided to go ahead and team up with us. But it's composed of those creatures from the Emerald Dream. So you've got keepers, you've got dryads, you've got druids, obviously, you've got the green dragonfly, you've got rune bears. They're new. They're
bears.
very cool.
Yeah.
And they've all come together to just kind of like help us out. And obviously, as with any renown that we've got, there are some really cool rewards involved.
Mounts
as you increase
too.
your reputation with these guys. I need to level my druid all for this because
I'm
it's
leveling one
druid
right now.
heaven.
Yes, Druid Heaven.
Anne and I both played druids, way back in 2004. So I think we're particularly excited to interact with this faction. I think we've never seen before in WoW these like types of characters that are really reminiscent of like Warcraft 3 and like
Yeah.
Night Elf and Druid
Yeah.
lore. So it's going to be very exciting to interact with a lot of those creatures
nostalgia,
and characters
yeah.
that I associate with like my first character ever.
So as we're dragon riding
That's a cool
through
mount.
this new zone,
Wow, that's a mount you can get. There's a player riding it. Look at this. I want this mount. Wow. This will look good on my shaman, actually. Yo, I need to get this mount.
is there new dragon riding anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So players will be able to dragon ride through the Emerald Dream from day one,
cool.
which is really a treat with
Can
all
we
the
get dragon
incredible
riding
art
everyone
within the
Azeroth,
zone just in
please?
itself.
You
There's
wanna
also
walk that
Flying, they're
zone.
so
yeah,
slow.
exactly, right? I want to swoop under branches and along the rivers and through that environment. They're also going to be able to collect new glyphs that are hidden around the zone and some new transmog appearances. There's a new dragon riding appearance and a new dragon riding mounts. So
Ooh.
there's a lot there
Wow.
for players who are interested in dragon riding and have enjoyed that.
Is that like a Fey dragon or something,
I'm
right?
all about collecting customization, especially for my dragons, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, there's a lot there for players who enjoy that. There's also a new active ability that players will be able to earn, with their
Active
glyphs
ability?
called Second Wind, that allows them to sort of like regain vigor instantly.
Ooh.
So they can gain a little bit more speed. There's new dragon riding races where they can try to, try their skills at that with some of these new abilities that they'll earn. And yeah, we're just excited to see how players enjoy zooming through the skies in the Emerald Dream itself.
That sounds handy for that dragon riding encounter too.
Yes.
So you may want to collect your glyphs right away.
Practice. Just practice.
Yeah, get some practice in.
And there's gonna be a new season. Can you tell us more about what the season will be?
Yeah, absolutely. So season 3 will start with Guardians of the Dream, and with it
What's the
becomes
item level
a new
increase?
Mythic Plus map pool. So we have 8 new dungeons that are arriving for players to enjoy in Mythic Plus. Among the
Dark Heart thing. Those are... Ooh, okay, those are quite many, actually.
these are some dungeons that are appearing for the first time in Mythic Plus that we're really excited
So many
about.
new dungeons.
We had our mega dungeon.
I thought we get only
that
3
players
or
have really
something.
been enjoying from the Dawn
Plus
of the
the old
Infinite
ones,
update,
of course.
and we're splitting that into 2 separate dungeons for players to enjoy in Mythic Plus. We also
one
have
location
2
has 2
dungeons included in the map
dungeons.
pool that really fit the theme of the wild nature of the Emerald Dream. The first is the Everbloom, which we last saw sort of in a challenge mode format.
That's like in
And the
Draenor.
second is Darkheart Thicket, which we last enjoyed during Legion, which has a really druidic theme, right? As we sort
Yeah,
of
but it's the Emerald
venture
Nightmare.
into the beginnings of the Emerald Nightmare and that story back at that time. So we're excited to get players in there and
Cool.
see if the routes have changed since the last time they were in those
That's true.
dungeons. For each new season, we like to have a mix of dungeons that are more linear, but also mix that up with dungeons that are more open, like Ataldazar,
Yeah.
and Waycrest Manor in a way, to try to keep some variety in there, and players who enjoy routing can have some options, to really like sink their teeth into.
There's going to be, of course, Mythic Plus new rewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
There.
What's the item level
for the new
increase?
season?
There'll be
Tell us.
a new season of PvP rewards. So
Good.
new
this is for
cosmetic
priest,
rewards
right?
for players to achieve in battlegrounds and raids.
Wow.
So work on your gladiator when it comes out. Get
Yep.
that fancy new mount.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
But the
everyone wants to
armor
know,
looks nice.
when is the PTR going to happen?
Yeah, so the PTR will be coming this week. We'll be on the PTR,
Already?
you know, Ann and I will be running around, and we would like to see players in there with us enjoying the new content that we have.
Thank you both so much for hanging out and talking about Guardians of the Dream with me. And thank
They're
you
already
everybody
far
for
with
tuning in.
it.
We'll see you next time.
Wow, it's almost done. That's cool. Yo, but this owl, I hope I pronounced that correct, a mount with the burning horns, I need this one. It's such a nice mount. But yeah, so many new dungeons. Like, what I usually expect is each update to get at least like 3 or so dungeons, maybe 4. But didn't we get like at least like 5 new dungeons as well for M+ or something? That's quite a lot, right? And then we still get like some old ones, of course, just like we have now. Like, we have also, now for example, Netharin's Lair, for example, right? Or we have Tyr's Hand. So, actually, that's pretty nice, though. Like, for those that really love to, like, M+, we're getting, like, a lot of new stuff to explore. I wonder, like, how much they're increasing the item level, though. Because what I know is, like, each season, they also push their little up, right? So you have, like, a reason to farm, like, new gear and stuff. But one thing I'm a bit confused about. So there's like this new raid, right, where you have the mechanics where you need to fly through those blue balls. Do you need to get the new active ability to do that? Like, do you have to bother like farming for this for those that only do like raids and dungeons in WoW? So you need to do like some questing, gain rep, pick up those glyphs and stuff, do those races? Or can you also not do this? Like, this is something I would like to know. And about the legendary weapon, it's a two-handed one, right? So it's gonna be best in slot for, I would say, probably like Arms Warrior. If we're unlucky, also for Fury Warrior. We have to see what it does, but I hope it only becomes the meta for one class like we have right now with the Evoker with the legendary. Because it would be a pain if you need this for every single two-handed melee class, from Paladin to Death Knight to Warrior. If that's best in slot for all of them, that's like forcing the players to do that. Like, you could always just reroll if you don't get it, right? Like, if you want to do like higher keys and your Fury Warrior or Arms Warrior doesn't get it, you can always play a Red Paladin or something and just grind up a new character and that way get into, let's say, plus 22 keys or something. Or some actually say you must have this or something, right? Like, there are some picky groups out there, I know about that. They look at your score, what M+ have you cleared before, what's your item level, what's your gear. If you don't match their fantasies, you are out of the group. That's just how it is, unfortunately. That's what WoW has become over the days, over the last years. But yeah, you can always reroll to another melee class if it's for yours the meta, right? But yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see what people are going to theorycraft and test out. I like the way some of the new sets look. Like the PvP set for the priest looks really nice, and I think actually the Death Knight one doesn't look so bad from the raid, right? Look kind of cool. I like the Warlock one. It gives me Jailer vibes for some reason. Doesn't look so much demonic. Looks more like kind of like a necromancer or something, if I had to describe it. But it's nice. I can't wait for the huge update and to explore the new zone. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what you're thinking about Guardians of the Dream. Are you excited for the new mounts, tier sets, new dungeons and all that? It's gonna be interesting for sure. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.